Hello, dear ones, it's Hannah. So, last weekend, my friend and fellow practitioner Angie Dollar and I got together and we did quantum healing sessions with each other to bring forth information to share with the collective. So, this is part 2 of our series, and I am functioning as a practitioner in this, and Angie is bringing forth information to share with you all. The information that came through Angie was all about the new earth and our transition there. It's really interesting, so check it out.
I was seeing letting go of the earth as we see it now. They showed me earth as it is now. It's just very, very gray. Unhappy people. There's a lot of crying, like sorrow, and pain. There's a lot of suffering. I'm feeling it down in my stomach for the collective. And then I was brought to a place. They're telling me, yeah, it's the future earth. I'm asking who I'm speaking to. High self, higher self. Highest part of the self. I'm being shown that it's a more beautiful place. It's very gold. They're showing me the symbol of it being very gold, which is very connected to source. They're telling me. It's like source beings are walking around the people. Some people are like they've been brought there. I am seeing like a spaceship. It's bringing people there. Said they're bringing them to like a new. It's as if they're being brought to a new planet, and they're worn out. People are worn out from the earth as we know it now, what we consider as now. They're saying we're bringing you to a better place. We're assisting you to be in a better place, a place where you really should be. We're assisting you in ascending to a higher place. They're saying it's fifth dimensional and above. I'm seeing the number 9. They're saying we're assisting you to exist on a 5th dimension to a 9th dimensional plane, moving up and down, but not moving below a 5th dimensional plane of existence. Many of you, they said we're bringing many of you to this higher plane of existence. Their ETs, they said their ETs they're assisting. ETs are assisting source beings, and source beings are assisting us. Those of us who've chosen to ascend. They're showing me the word many. Many of us have chosen. They said many of you have chosen to ascend. It's like an ET being talking to me now, showing me he said he's a part of my higher existence. He's showing like a building of this new, he's calling it a new planet. He's showing us planting things. Things are growing really easily. Getting back to nature. Getting back to a purity. He's pointing over to his left, which would be my right side. He's showing up. The earth the way it was getting too polluted. Too many negative controls of the people. Too much darkness. Some would consider dark entities, darkness, sickness. He's saying the word plague some things like we were talking about 5G energies, disconnect from each other, too much time on cell phones, televisions, addictions, lower level relationships, like this, well, you know what it is, low level relationships that don't have love, low level jobs, working in a fast food restaurant, an office, corruption. He's showing all those, that we were getting too far, too disconnected from source. And so he said they've collaborated, that these ETs that are assisting, that source beings and these ETs that are assisting have collaborated to bring us to a higher dimensional Earth, as if it's a new planet. So he is showing me like a splitting of what we would consider, he said, what we would consider a new Earth and an old Earth. He says like two separate planets. They're moving us towards as we ascend higher. He said those of us who are ready to ascend, we've lost a lot, we've let go of a lot, but it's really a good thing. We've chosen to let go of the old, to fill in where we've let go of the old. They've been able to assist us to fill that in with positive ascension energies that help us to move up to these higher dimensions. He's showing me a lot of visions around it, a lot of space within our, what we would see as our physical beings, our fields. We're letting go of relationships, addictions, negative jobs, negative old traumas, experiences. We're letting go of all that. It's leaving an empty space for like gold energies are coming in. He's showing it as gold energies are coming in, filling us up. Like pulling us up to these higher realms. I'm seeing us like floating away from this lower dimensional Earth, being raised up to a higher level of existence. We're still in our physical bodies, but he is showing me a movement in and out of physical bodies. He is showing me that choice. He is showing me it's like a way of leaving our physical bodies. What's that word someone used? Like a stasis. A way of like leaving our physical body and saying, I'll be right back, and going up to a higher area and then coming back. He said the veil is lifting, where we have a knowing that we can move around from one existence to another without forgetting. We can say, I want to move around this fifth dimensional Earth where I have freedom. I can like physically touch someone or smell a flower. I can experience cold spring water moving through my body and swimming through cold spring water. I can experience touching a dolphin in the ocean. He's saying we can experience through our five senses, our five earthly senses, but then we can choose to leave our body and go have another experience, like floating through space. And he said, this is the first time that we're aware of like a fifth dimensional experience, and we're aware of a higher experience also that we haven't, that from as we know it, we haven't been able to have a physical experience and also be aware of the other experiences. But there has been many times, he said, where we've been aware of higher experiences so we can look down on the lower, but this is the first time we've been able to have a lower experience of fifth dimension and look up at the higher, so we can like move back and forth, because we've made a choice. We made a choice to live through like a Garden of Eden,
Mm.
but it's not a Garden of Eden, like there's going to be a fall. We made a choice to live a perfect physical realm existence, but be able to leave it temporarily and go up to a higher level of existence where we're just flying through space, and we're floating, and we're having some other existence. Like he's showing me we're being someone's angel or someone's high self, assisting them. And then we decide to move back into the fifth dimensional physical experience and experience that for a while and then move somewhere else. He's showing me the fifth dimensional experience is kind of like a home. It's kind of like a home base, like a rebooting place to rest and place to have joy in a fifth dimensional physical experience. A place to have complete joy and love and connection to all things, but be able to enjoy our physical bodies and then move towards something higher. Some more free movement. He said on this earth, as we experience now, we've been very restricted in our bodies, and that's not the way it's meant to be. We've been very restricted in our minds. He said a lot of controls that we've set up for ourselves. And we could have broken free sooner. We chose that experience in duality. Is there any questions?
Yes. So, as you're experiencing this fifth dimensional version of Earth or newer Earth that has split off, can you ask him, is this a literal or metaphorical vision that you're having of the future?
He said it's literal.
It's literal. And does he have a particular timeline for when you might be experiencing that?
He said for me, he's showing me like 3 to 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
He said the time for the people on the planet is like when they're ready to go, for them, for all of us. He's talking for me, for you, for the people to not get caught up in the time, to stay optimistic and believe, trust. Put yourself in that state as much as possible. Meditate on it, visualize it, believe it, know it, feel it. Find things on this earth that put you in this state of beauty so that you can let go of the earth as you know it. He said the earth as you know it has gone too far into duality, too far into the extreme negativity. So it got to a point where you weren't having your optimum joy. There was too much suffering. A source, he said, source beings contacted these positive ETs that were there to assist, to incarnate into human bodies, to assist others to come up into this higher earth, the way earth was meant to be. He said the duality was good to experience the contrast, but it's gotten to be too extreme and it's time. Time to release such a lower, what you would consider a lower negativity or lower dimensional, lower frequencies. I'm not sure if that's all of your question.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So is this higher Earth what so many are calling New Earth?
Yes. Yes, but what they're calling New Earth, they're ascending to a higher, what we consider, we're assisting you to ascend to a higher version in a physical reality. It's a step. You're calling it New Earth, and we're calling it a step to ascension. Ascension, in a way, is this, we don't want to scare you with the word death, but it's the death of the old. It's ascending up to a higher reality in a physical body so that you can ascend up into something better. You're letting go of trauma. Some of you have experienced in many lifetimes on this planet or other planets. You're moving up to a more positive reality. You're more awake, you're more in control, you're more full of love. You're more full of compassion. If you can allow yourself to be more full of love and compassion for yourself and for everything and everyone, it assists you to move up to this higher dimensional earth, what we can call it the new earth, to make it more general understanding of what many of you are calling it. Mm-hmm. It's really been waiting for you for a while.
That's nice to hear.
Well, you have control as to when you come. We're not limiting you. We're not telling you you have to suffer. You have to wait. It's up to you to move to this place. You're moving at different times. What you consider times.
How do you control when you move and determine when, like the time? How does that work?
There's a choice of you letting go. There's a choice of you letting go of what you consider to be on the negative side in your lives, letting go of relationships, jobs, places where you live, traumas, things that you consider negative from this lifetime and other lifetimes. And then you're walking into the earth where you are now, walking into more positive, what you consider positive experiences, positive people, positive places, positive jobs, letting go of worry and fear, letting go of unforgiveness. And notice when we say unforgiveness, don't just be the victim. You're letting go of unforgiveness of yourself, looking within yourself, not just unforgiveness of others. You're making a choice to let go of a lot of what you would consider negative thought patterns, negative things, negative people, places, things, patterns, programming. You're making the choice of feeling and knowing that you deserve this beautiful place. Is waiting for you. You're very important. It's here for you. It's here for each and every one of you that chooses to come here. Just make the choice. We are here to assist you.
And so I assume making the choice is somewhat conscious, and then also probably requires us following through in the physical, like actually doing those things, letting them go, spending time in higher vibrational states of connection. Are there other aspects of that choice?
You're responsible for you. There's some that have the belief that there's a God that will save me, and if I only wait for God, if I only wait for this, there's no waiting. The time is now to allow these beautiful things in your life, because you are us. You are source. You are a part of us. So allow more of us allow the essence of more of us to come down into your physical awareness, down into your physical being. Just open up, allow, and know that you deserve these beautiful things. You deserve all these wonderful, beautiful things into your lives. There's a lot of, I don't deserve it. I'm never going to get there kind of attitude. You've been crushed down from, some of you have been crushed down from many lifetimes, many existences, and from your childhood and from those around you and from jobs around you and from polluted air and polluted food and polluted energy. Just choose to let go of it and realize you deserve so much more. You deserve so much beauty into your life. A lot of it is a choice, taking control, taking your power. Don't wait for us to come and hold your hand and lead you. Yes, we are here supporting you and loving you and caring for you, but make the choice. Make the choice to allow us into your life. We are you. Just come towards us. There's a connection to make, to realize we're in this together. We're not here to do the work for you. We're here to assist you. We ask that you open up to us and you believe. We're not here like a puppet show to control you. We are you. We're here to help and assist. So allow us into your lives without fear. As we love you completely and totally. She's feeling that love. Just allow that. Allow that love from the source beings and from us. We're here because we're highly connected to Source. Source asked us to come and assist you. And many of us on other planets have been incarnated into your human physical beings. We're waking you up to the realization of who you are, and then you're helping others around you. Just accept and know who you are. Take your power back. You have the control to move. You have the control to move tomorrow, if you choose to move tomorrow, what you would consider tomorrow. You're just holding yourself back. It's here and it's ready for you at this time. Do you agree?
I do agree. I can say from the human perspective, I fully understand the concept of doing that, and the actual embodiment of how to do it is rather confusing sometimes. And I'm wondering if you have any particular tools to suggest for people to help them on this path of letting go and raising themselves up through this ascension process.
You're on for yourself, for yourself as Hannah in your body. You're on the right track, and your children will be on the right track. And those you love around you are moving onto the right track. And you had some great information that you gave during your session you just did with what we consider Angie and her body at this time. The things you say of meditating, getting into nature, connecting, also what we can add to connect with other like-minded beings in the physical body who assist you with awakening and moving forward. Don't be afraid to let go of those that are not moving forward with you. It's perfectly okay to let go of family and friends, and perfectly okay to let go of work and lower vibrational things and people and places. We suggest moving to different areas on your planet. We suggest taking time for yourself when you can, daily if you can. We suggest, as Angie said, beginning your day or beginning your week, as often as what fits for you, of focusing on clearing out your day, however is best for you, meditating, doing energy work, whatever works for you to clear out for the best possible day, pulling in the best day, the best week, the best moment for you. We suggest taking a moment to look at things from a higher perspective, as if you're the observer in your world, so that you're walking around in your physical body, but you're walking around your physical body observing from a higher level. We suggest any conflict you have in relationships or work that you're walking around with the lowest ego, walking around on the highest level as an observer, knowing that this world is not the world that you're going to stay in, that you're moving away from what you consider a third dimensional reality to a fifth dimensional reality and above. Just believe it and trust it. Know that you deserve it. Nature, getting out in nature is good, but we want you to know that you can also go there in your mind. You can also close your eyes and see yourself there at any given moment. You're going to move yourself to the reality, the fifth dimension and above. You're going to move your physical body and your mind. Every part of yourself is moving here. But first, you have to move your mind here. First, move yourself to this place as often as you can. Move yourself to a state of peace, a state of knowing that you are loved and supported. Just see yourself and visualize yourself with the best relationship with yourself. See yourself as loving yourself, forgiving yourself, letting go of anything negative you're holding on to, what you would consider negative. And then see others in the same light. See yourself here with us on a fifth dimensional earth and above. Your body will follow you if you can do that, when you can do that. If you're awakening and you're listening to this video or these kinds of videos, you're moving here to be in this fifth dimensional earth. Don't doubt it. Trust it's happening. It's coming when you choose for it to come. Did I answer your question fully?
Yes, thank you. Would you say that many that are on this awakening trajectory are in the fourth dimension at this time, or does it vary? Are many still in the third dimension, or how does that?
They're in the fourth dimension, and they're being hit with a lot of things to let go of. Some of them feel like it was easier in the third dimension, easier before they were waking up. They're moving up to the fourth dimension. It's a time to face a lot, to let go of a lot, so they can move to be here in the fifth dimension with us.
So there's still much to move through, but it's not necessarily.
We don't like to look at it as there's what?
I was going to say it's not necessarily linear in terms of time. It could happen very quickly or very slowly.
Yeah, it's up to you. We don't look at it as there's a lot to move through. You're in different stages within the fourth dimension. We don't look at it as a lot to move through. You can choose to move it through it like a snap of the fingers. Make a choice as to how long you decide to suffer. It's your decision to suffer or not suffer. It's your decision to realize your power. It's your decision to stop feeling like a victim. Your decision to not pointing fingers at others. And it's your decision to not blaming yourself for things you've done to others and things you've done to yourself. It's your decision to let go and allow more of the love into your life. Allow more of a source to come and be a part of you, because you are a part of source. Just to realize you're a part of source and allow more of this positive nature within you, so that you can move up to this higher dimension. It's right here. You're like right on the cusp of it. We don't want to say anything negative to say that you have a lot to work through. There's a lot that's happening on an individual basis, and there's some that's happening on a collective basis. You can choose to move through your stuff quickly. Many of you have chosen many lifetimes of working through the same thing. You can choose to let go of what you consider programming or trauma or contracts or anything that you would consider to be negative. You can choose to let go of it, just like in a flash, just like in a snap of the fingers. Many of you have been dealing with this suffering for a long time, and when you suffer, when you blame others, you're suffering. When you blame yourself, you're suffering. It's a lot of choice that you've made, and you don't deserve it. Allow yourself to see the truth of what you deserve, that you're a part of Source. You deserve to have a physical experience where you're only experiencing love and joy.
Thank you for that. This new earth, call it, is it in the same place as our current earth, just on a different vibrational level, or is it physically in a different spot?
No, we're showing her that it's in a different place. We're showing her two places. And we want you to see that everything's possible. We're showing her a spaceship of some people being brought by spaceship, but we're showing her just a movement, just an ease of a movement. We're showing her we're showing her something she wants to laugh. It's like if you imagine something simple like a Star Trek, where they would say, beam me up, Scotty, that kind of thing. It's a movement. You think of what we would consider as advanced ETs, like an old-fashioned thing of a spaceship. To us, that's very old-fashioned, like a movement through space, like an airplane or a spaceship. But there's a more advanced way of movement that we can move your physical bodies just in an instant here, where you're just suddenly here. And we're showing her like two separate realities of an old earth and a new earth. And there's the part in between. We're showing her as the movement of letting go of the negative, what you would consider negative things that you're holding on to.
So is that what we're doing right now?
Right now you're letting go in the fourth dimension. You're letting go of what you would consider as negative.
So that's like the space between the old and the new earth?
Yes. But it's not fate. It's not a space. Some of you have said like a rainbow bridge. It's not a space you walk across. It's a space where you're letting go. The space between, we're showing her, is very dark. It's a lot of what you would consider dark energies, things to let go of. But what we want you to know is that you've had a lot of time learning so that you can ascend. You've chose to learn in a certain way so that you can ascend. You've chose to learn through this duality. It was a choice to leave Source. We don't want you to think you're forced to come down here, because Source only has love for you. Source would never force you to come down and experience a duality that you would consider trauma and suffering, because Source is only full of love for you. So it was a choice to come and learn in a certain way. So we would like you to look at anything you consider as negative as just learning, and then release it. And we're showing her like a flower, and we're showing her a bird. It's like a big white flower, and the petals are just blowing away. It looks like we're showing her what looks like a hummingbird. A hummingbird is down there on the flower. The hummingbird and the flower are just blowing away with the wind. You just look at everything negative that you consider negative. We don't consider it negative. Look at everything you consider negative that you've experienced, that you and others have done to yourself and you've done onto others, and you just let it go. Just consider it learning. Just allow yourself to move up to the 5th dimension, because we want you to be here. And let go of any physical pain in your bodies too. A lot of you hold these traumas and physical things in your body. So allow your physical bodies to change and move into being in a high physical dimension where you're in a very healthy physical state. And allow your mind to be in a very healthy emotional, mental state. And allow more love to come into your body and into your mind. Just release those energies. You don't need to carry them around anymore. Some of you have carried them around for so very long. It's time to ascend and let go and quit living the same things over and over. Let go of what some of you would consider time loops. You're starting to notice time loops on this earth, and that's because you've experienced the same thing. Some of you experienced the same thing so many times on this earth and on different planets. You've chosen the same lessons over and over to learn in a more deeper state. And it's time to just let go. It's time to move up to 5th dimension and above so that you can create and move forward. And then some of you can choose to move on and be guides or be a higher aspect of someone else who chooses to stay in a lower dimensional reality of Earth or a lower dimensional reality of other planets. And you can choose to guide them. It becomes a very beautiful, a much more beautiful existence for those of you who choose to ascend. It's not scary. It's not letting go of anyone you love. You're still connected. Just don't be afraid of the change. Let go of the fear. The change is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So allow it into your life. It becomes more and more beautiful. You become more and more aware of the amazing, beautiful experience you're moving into. Did I answer your question?
You did. And I wanted to touch again on something that you said, which was about how it's okay to let go of people that you love or people that no longer serve you. And I know that there are still many people who struggle with that feeling of loss or all the other emotions that surround that. And I'm wondering if for those that are ascending to the new earth, leaving behind those that they love, is it true that you're always connected to them and that you'll always have that connection and ability to visit them and help them, maybe through dreams or in other ways? I'm wondering what sort of, if there's any wisdom that we could share to help people that are worried about that loss and that keeping them from being willing to ascend.
Yes, we fully knew your question before you're going to ask. We just wanted you to ask it for anyone listening and watching. You're always going to be connected to those that you consider to be those you love. When you move up to the 5th dimensional reality, either they're going to move with you or you will have a connection to them. And just imagine what we're showing Angie, what you consider Angie in this lifetime now. We're showing her a hand reaching back to those you love. You're still able to assist them. You're still able to connect with them. You're still able to see them. And even when you move off into what you would consider a different life or a different existence, you can still guide those that you've loved through what you would consider as time. You can still guide them. You can still become a higher aspect of them, because we're seeing also what goes beyond with this lifetime. So let me slow down and just talk about this lifetime. as you move what you consider as this lifetime, since you're still connected to time. As you move up to the fifth dimensional earth, you will still be able to connect and see and assist those that you love and those you've chosen to let go of but still be connected to. And then let's move forward in what you would consider time. You're always connected to your soul families, many that you've reincarnated with over and over. And let's move forward to a different existence. You can choose to be a guide, a high self. You can choose to go back to source. But once you ascend to this fifth dimension and above, you're always connected with the soul family. And if some of them choose to reincarnate on a lower existence, like a third dimensional reality Earth or a third dimensional reality other planet, you can still be connected to them. You can still be their guide, their high self. You can be up in a source realm, connected with source, assisting them. So those of you that are ascending, you're always going to be able to see and feel and assist the others.
And will the others be able to see, feel, and feel your assistance? Like, will they be aware that you're there and feel that connection themselves?
Those that you're so connected to will, yes. Those that are, let's look beyond your soul family and look down. We don't see any hierarchy, and we don't see any loving anyone less than any others. But let's look down into, let's look at someone who's not part of your soul family, for instance. Let's look at someone who's in jail and they've committed some heinous crime, like some murder and rape, some terrible crime. That person will not be aware of you. You're aware of them when you're in the fifth dimensional reality. But that person is not aware of you because they're so cut off from source. They're so cut off from us. So there are many beings on the planet that are not able to connect to you in a fifth dimension. They're not able to connect to source. That's because they're still so connected to what you would consider like a dark energy all around them. But those of you who've chosen to ascend and go to a fifth dimensional reality, many or all of your soul families are going to still be connected to you. They're going to be moving up to ascend with you. Let's take your children, for instance. Take the people you're closest to. There's a reason they become your children. Let's take what you consider soulmates or twin flames. There's a reason they've come here with you. So, of course, they're coming to ascend with you. Does that fully answer your question?
It does. Thank you. And to go back to one other thing, it sounds like you're saying that we can let go of the baggage, so to speak, that we've carried with us throughout lifetimes, the cycles we've been in over and over and over. We can let go of those things quickly without necessarily needing to spend a lot of time healing them. Is that true?
That is. Many of you are coming to things to assist you, like meditating, energy, clearing, hypnosis, QHHT, BQH, other means of letting go. Many of you may feel like you have a need to, go to those modalities and other modalities to assist you, which is absolutely fine. And those are tools that we've given you. Those are tools that have been on this planet, been on other planets. And as you notice, a lot of people are, switching out those modalities, and they feel they've created new modalities, but they're actually they're awakening to things that they've used on other planets, things that we've given them. And then what's the rest of your question? I'm sorry.
Is there any, so connecting in the higher, connecting to that higher understanding is, and perhaps using some other modalities that help us do that. Those are good ways for us to let go of things.
Yes,
without needing to dredge through lots of healing work necessarily over time.
Yes, because some people are covered by so much that it's difficult to do it by yourself. If we wanted you to do things by yourself, we would have one person on your planet. There's a reason that Source split off and people incarnated, separately, so that you could learn and experience together. Now many of you have incarnated on your planet to help others, so allow that assistance. Even healers need assistance. Everyone can need assistance. There's the idea of looking within yourself for healing, but there's many of you on the planet that can assist each other with the healing. And when you feel like someone doesn't serve your highest and best good anymore, or when you feel like you've learned what you can, or you've gotten the assistance that you need from someone, you can move on to someone else. There can be a point where you feel like all you need is yourself to ascend. You just find what works for you, because we've offered you many tools to assist you. You don't have to do this alone. If you choose to do this alone, you can. And if you choose to get help, you can. You choose what's correct for you, what feels right for you to help you to ascend.
Thank you so much. I'm wondering if you can tell us, once people arrive on the new earth, what is it that happens for them next? Like, what's the general process of arriving on new earth and then integrating into a life there?
Yeah, I was hearing like the word processing before you said process. There's like it's like some of us know. I'll try not to talk too fast. It's like coming at me so fast.
Okay.
Some of us have a knowing. We already know. We already know where we are, but some of the people, they're just giving me a lot of information. I don't want it to sound like it's coming from me. It's coming from them. I'm just saying what I hear. Like, some of us already know where we are, but then some people don't know where they are. So some of us are like processing them in, integrating. They're integrating something into their system. Implants. I'm seeing implants being removed. What were those implants? Implants were keeping them under the veil, keeping them under control. But it's something they agreed to come into their incarnation and have those implants. So it's like essentially we're removing those so that they can open up more to the truth of who they are and what they are and where they are.
Are those implants something everyone on earth has?
I'm getting a yes. And I'm getting that those of us who incarnated from other planets are saying, yes, I incarnated from another planet. They're saying you incarnated from another realm. So they are showing more of like a pixie fairy. They're saying yes. So they're saying those of us who incarnated from predominantly being in other planets or other realms, that we have more of a knowing, more of an opening, that a lot of us had more of an opening of not having as much of a veil, not as much of what you would consider implants. They said that a lot of us were, we haven't fit in for most of our lives. We've stood out as being like weird or different, or where we felt it or other people have felt it. They said most likely had more abilities, gifts, out of the box type attitudes and actions. They said that those type of people have had less implants, less controls, but we've had to have some so that we could awaken in the right way at the right time. That we couldn't awaken all at once. They're showing a few people who did awaken all at once, and they said it's more difficult, could cause you to feel like you're insane. Okay, so going back to New Earth, they're showing that, so those of us who were more awakened, more aware, less controlled on the planet, we're the ones to help accept, process in. We're like the entry level, helping the people who are not as awake and aware to come onto the planet, come onto that 5D and above area. We're opening, allowing them into our system. Some of them are soul families, a part of us. And I'm hearing that we're sending them to where they're supposed to be going. Some of them are receiving more healing. Like those of us who incarnated on Earth to help, we already became very clear and very connected before we got to that fifth dimensional reality. But some of them, it's like we're still healing them and pulling them up. So yeah, I'm hearing the word healing centers right there. That we're sending some of them to help them let go of the last of it, is what I'm hearing. Let go of the last of what they're holding on to. Some of them look afraid, is the word I'm hearing. Afraid. I'm asking them to show me what else. Oh, change. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of, like, where am I? They're not totally allowing the positive energies into their systems. They're in their physical bodies. Their physical bodies aren't completely ready yet. So some of them are being attuned to the higher energies, is what I'm hearing. What happens next? They're showing me these little blocks. It's like a bunch of little squares, compartmentalized. They're just being separated, sent to where they're supposed to be, but it's not like, we don't want you to think it's like a jail. It's like they're being sent to different healing areas, and some are being sent to higher realms of ascension. Some are ready to and wanting to go off into higher realms to do some work, learn some more, but learn on a higher realms. Some are choosing to stay there. They're showing me they're like growing the planet. They're planting things. They're choosing to have families there. They can choose to still have children, have families, live a very leisurely life of where you can farm, you can create music, you can swim, you can catch fish. It's very free, but it's not any kind of hardship at all. It's just very free, full of love. They're choosing to learn with ease, learn in positive ways, letting go of that separation from source, where there's a negativity on the earth right now. So some are there on that new earth. It's like earth, but it's a much better earth. It's a lot of freedom, a lot of leisure time. Any kind of work is enjoyable. Money doesn't exist. They can choose to eat or choose not to eat, because if they choose that food is a part of a pleasure for them, they can choose that, or they can choose to not eat. They can choose to eat meat or not eat meat. There's not any destruction of animals. It's just a choice of an energy. There's a purity there, a purity in the air, a purity in the food, if you choose to stay there. There's a choice that you can choose to like float to another place on the earth. They're showing me like kind of floating, kind of flying. They're showing me some that are choosing to it's like wings coming out of their body. They can choose to fly over to someone else's little hut or little place of residence to have conversation. They're showing me a group of people, it's like higher level humans that are laughing, thinking about how amazing, they're talking about how amazing it is there and how they can't believe they're free of all these troubles that they had on earth before they came there. So there's definitely a memory of the lower dimensional earth. There's a celebration where they have a knowing that the rest of their family is coming soon, very soon. There's no kind of trauma of being separated from anyone, because they have a knowing that the rest of their family is coming soon. They are, as we were saying, that there's an ability to look down and see their families, and the ability to look down and see them and look down and assist them. And there's the ability to go, they're walking among higher beings. They're actually walking above. They're walking along with their source beings, actually split off from source. They're walking among them. There's positive ETs walking among them, and they're able to ask certain aspects to go down and assist their family. And they're able to watch, and they're able to assist. There's a lot going on. They're showing me a lot. There's areas on that earth where certain beings are like in charge of making sure the others are okay, everything's good with them, making sure all their needs are met, asking them what they want to create. What do you want to create right now? Where do you want to go? Do you want to stay here? Do you want to go somewhere else? They're discussing their options. They're showing you as if it's like a tour guide, What is it that you're wanting? Here are your options. What are you feeling? There's still the ability to feel, because there's so much joy. There's so much joy and laughter and love. There's so much peace. Any kind of trauma or negativity is being diminished. Those that are like, they're said to be in charge, but they're not in charge in a negative, controlling way. They're in charge it's like they're wrapping their love around their community. There's these different bubbles of communities, and those in charge are wrapping their love around it, making sure everyone's letting go of the last of any kind of worry, any kind of traumas, making sure they're cared for and they're in the place where they're happy. It's like, do you want to stay here on earth? Do you want to go to a higher realm? Let's discuss your possibilities of what you want, so you can feel like you're completely fulfilled.
Amazing.
There's a lot of water. The water is like the healing energies.
Well, is there anything else that he wishes to bring forth today that we didn't ask, or that he wishes for us to share with humanity as a whole?
He said, I choose to bring you love and ask for you to open to love, open to loving yourself and loving everything and everyone around you. Even if you don't understand why things are happening, choose to send love to everything. He said it'll help you and help everything and everyone around you. Choose to, more than anything, choose to love yourself and forgive yourself and let go. Because he said if you choose to love yourself, you'll choose more to love and understand everything and everyone around you. It's going to help you and help everyone and everything. He said, we're here for you, but part of it is you doing your work, but allow us to come down more inside of you so that we can assist you more and more. He said, make the choice to come up on these higher realities where we are, as we love you and we want to help you. We want to help you to grow with them in a positive way, what you consider positive. Let go of all the suffering. Come and enjoy a life that's a true life. You're living in joy. That is, it's time to live a more godlike existence where you're living in joy, living in love.
Well, thank you so very much for being here with us today. We are incredibly grateful for this and all of the amazing information that you shared.
He said he wants to give thanks to those of you who've chosen to leave higher dimensional planets and come down into this earth. He said, we know that it's difficult being there, and we're here to assist you, and we give you thanks.
Isn't that so incredible? It's really just such a blessing to do this work and see the tremendous amount of love and wisdom that pours through. So if you are interested in trying out a quantum healing session or learning more, then feel free to contact Angie or myself. We'll put the links for our websites below. And please come and find us. We also are happy to do surrogate healing sessions, quantum healing sessions for people that are unable to connect or for whatever reason, whether they're too infirm or young or are having a challenging time connecting on their own. So please feel free to reach out to us should you ever want or need to. We'd love to hear from you. Okay.